Hi everyone, I'm Michael.
And I'm Patrick, and watching another episode of Star Wars News and Views. Today we're going to do another quick sort of episode here about the San Diego Comic-Con that happened recently with the Force Awakens behind-the-scene footage that we finally got to see.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm really excited about it. It's really cool to see sort of like a lot of the practical effects going on and everything behind the scenes, and actually like getting to see it sort of like certain things we got to see in the trailer, we got to see how it was shot and everything.
They kept emphasizing over and over again practical effects.
Yeah.
It's like not prequels.
Yeah. Look, we're actually exploding stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that. It's also, I'm not really sure, it's just a little segment they gave us here, but who knows, maybe when like the Blu-ray gets released, we're going to have a whole hour-long footage of stuff and everything. And it's cool to start to see a little teaser of it now. And overall, I don't know. There's not, it wasn't a trailer that some people were expecting, but at least we get to see a few new things happening in this. Nothing really major, but just the cool few extra aliens and stuff like that we get to see, which is kind of new. So that was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, of course. It's like, who can argue with more footage from Force Awakens? It's like, you could throw us just these table scraps and we'll eat it up like it's a banquet meal. I was kind of maybe hoping there'd be, at the convention, maybe like even the 20-second clip from the final film or the finished film. Like, they did for like Batman vs. Superman, I think it was last year at Comic-Con?
Yeah, they just had that little teaser of him shining the light on Superman.
And that was like, I would have settled for that. But I guess in some ways this was even better because you do see lots of brief things that we don't know what they are. We think we don't know what they are. We have some theories we'll get into in a few minutes. But lots of new stuff to see. It's interesting to see how they're making it, using film, using real sets and puppets, and it's just really, really neat to see all this stuff again.
Also, just to point out, J.J. Abrams at the panel said that we might see the next trailer coming out in fall this year.
Yeah,
so
I expect that. It's probably September, October.
Yeah. So one of the things we got to see was C-3PO being built, and it looks like at one point one of his arms is all black, his left arm. Before he had the chrome leg, we didn't really get to see that in the shot, so I'm not sure if it's still like that. But now one of his arms is completely black. I guess maybe he loses a part of himself or something.
Yeah.
Also, it's worth noting that we saw sort of its promotional footage, promotional material.
Packaging for a toy.
Yeah. He had a red arm.
Probably he loses his arm again at some point in the film.
Yeah. Either way, though, it's still a pretty kind of big design change there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. One other thing that I thought was really cool was there's this one shot of Poe Dameron being escorted down a hallway by a stormtrooper. It's just, I don't know what the context of that is. He's been captured, I guess. Maybe they have to go rescue him. The New Order's base is named Starkiller, which in the original script was Luke Skywalker's. Actually, when they were shooting it, his name was still Starkiller. They changed it halfway through shooting. But there's lots of shots of bases and hallways that you don't really know what they are, but could be maybe one of those.
Yeah, one of the really cool things we had to see too was the actual Millennium Falcon being built and getting to see what it looks like in the studio.
In all the hallways, one thing to look for though, there's a brief shot of C-3PO and it clearly looks like he's in the Yavin war room, I guess, with that green stuff. And there's production art, concept art of the Yavin base, so maybe they actually go back to the Yavin base. I mean, it certainly seemed that way, and this may be sort of confirming that.
We also had to see a close-up of Admiral Akbar, presumably his eye, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of I don't know if it was kind of to show off that it was practical face.
Or the detail, yeah.
Or the detail, yeah. But it's pretty much confirmed he's going to be in the movie now, especially because we had seen something before, some other promotional shots of him, so I don't know. It's pretty much of a safe bet at this point.
There's a lot of shots and characters and scenes that have a very military sort of vibe to them. There's a lot of military bases and rebel bases, which is very original trilogy. But in the prequels, you didn't really have that.
Yeah.
So it's nice to return to that. And you see, of course, finally, the first footage of Princess Leia, because she wasn't in the trailer. And, a couple weeks earlier, we had leaked artwork, and she's wearing the exact same costume.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's in the base talking to, some kind of rebel soldier.
We also get to see stormtroopers with flamethrowers, flame troopers, I guess, which is kind of cool. It looks like they're torching down a village or something like that.
That's probably that opening, or not opening, but that early scene where they're supposed to burn down the village. One other interesting thing is some of the shots on Jakku match production art that we've seen, this big sort of structure. It's like a gateway or an entrance. And some people are saying it looks like the Millennium Falcon's ramp is in the background there.
We get to see the crashed TIE fighter as well, which is cool, sort of the model for it and everything out in the desert.
Well,
it's really awesome.
it's a whole practical ship crashed in the desert with flame and smoke and stuff. That looks just awesome.
Yeah.
And one really interesting thing that I thought was really cool is that you see Daisy Ridley piloting the Millennium Falcon, and it's actually, that alone is worth noting, and it's actually on a full gimbal, so it like moves around, so you get that actual real motion and the light changing and stuff like that. And there's 2 IMAX cameras filming her too, so like that one little bit has so much to it. Practical Falcon on the gimbal, she's piloting it by herself, IMAX cameras, it's just like that one shot just gave so much right there. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. We also get to see Simon Pegg behind the scenes, who's, well known to be a huge Star Wars fan, and he's in like an alien suit, I guess, and without the mask on, just like his head sort of. I guess he's gonna presumably be some alien in the film, and hopefully like he does the voice work for it as well, right? So we get to like play this alien, which would be really cool to see Simon Pegg. Not even, I guess, he probably wouldn't even have to be that big of a role in the film, but it's kind of cool just to see somebody else geek out about it, who's actually gets his chance to be there. So yeah, that's it, guys. Just a little quick episode again to kind of look at something new and exciting about this Star Wars movie coming up.
Yeah, it's for sure good to see new footage, behind-the-scenes footage. I'm sure every one of you have seen it because it's been out for almost a week now. So leave us your comments on what was your favorite moment, things you noticed. There's new red and black troopers that they're saying there may be resistance troopers. There's lots to go on about this one. Behind the scenes video. Great to see. Leave us your comments on it, and we'll see you next episode, guys.